Hey everyone, before I start this video, I just wanted to inform all of y'all that my girlfriend is doing Inktober this month on her Twitter account and her Instagram account. You can check those out in the description down below. I love them so very much. I wanted to do something for October, but I can't because I'm really fucking busy, as I'll tell you later on in the queue. Anyways, thank you guys so much. I love y'all. Check it out. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, Goose. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh my goodness, it has been a hot minute. I'll tell you why right now, just to cut the bullshit. I got a job, and the job has me working late night shifts for 12 hours. I have barely enough time to myself and to my girlfriend and to my actual lonely, horrible life. And it's been getting very difficult to actually find the time to make videos, and unfortunately this video has to be incredibly rushed because I have work in an hour. So I have to get ready in about fucking 10 minutes. But yeah, guys, sorry for the delay. I already updated y'all about this, but because of the schedule, because of this, you know, new fucking change in my life, I will have to change things up with my YouTube schedule. So from now on, we will have Wednesday a video week, and then the next week we'll have Monday and Friday, and then after that it's gonna be just Wednesday, and then after that Monday and Friday, etc., etc. So hopefully you guys understand that. I really do miss you guys, and I love y'all so very much. If I had $10,000, I would probably just quit. Fucking $5,000. That I probably would just quit. I'd use that money to fund my fucking things that I need to pay off and all that shit. But right now I need to work, and I hope you guys understand that I'm not making that many videos anymore. Sorry. But hopefully the quality won't drop. I will try my best to give you guys the best that I can. It's just now it's kind of hard to juggle YouTube and work when in reality I only have 4 hours of the day to myself, and that is not nearly enough time to make a YouTube video of high quality. But seriously, sounds like I'm bitching and complaining. I'm fucking thankful that I have this job, let me tell you. But it is fucking crunch time right now, and I have to work my ass off. So yeah, I love you guys. I hope you guys really understand. It's been torturing me. But let's just forget about that dumb shit and talk about today's subject, which is grooming on YouTube. Oh god. So if you haven't heard, there's this horrible issue that has occurred quite a few days ago, like I think about a week or two ago. It's been a while. I wanted to cover this topic last week, but again, work. But essentially there was this channel, 7 channels, that promoted a bunch of fun little kiddie friendly, awesome girl power shit that featured girls under the age of 18 basically doing weird, almost fetishistic stuff. And I won't mention the name of the channel, mostly because I don't want to promote that channel's basically weird shit that they do. I don't want to promote that channel. It's just weird, and also I don't really remember the name of the channel, so you know, hey, it's win-win. But anyways, basically these 7 channels have been pretty relatively famous. I think they've all had over 500,000 subscribers, if not more than 100,000. Essentially they were pretty popular, and it always seemed so weird that these channels have existed, and everyone knew that they existed. Then everyone knows that they're pretty weird, just like as weird as those happy playtime daddy yes pop kind of fucking videos, you know. I understand that those things, maybe some of them are jokes, but for the most part those things are just weird fucking strange people from the Middle East trying to make money off of YouTube by making the shittiest CG animations ever. But with this kind of shit, there is many channels that involve children doing strange, again, fetishistic stuff. And they found out that the owner of this channel, or rather the manager of this channel, was actually a pedophile. Like, he tried to get one of the girls to do horrible sexual acts, and again, these are girls under 18. He tried to get them to do horrible sexual acts for him, for just his pleasure, and it's sickening. It's fucking disgusting. But I feel like what is more disgusting than that, and he did get caught, he is arrested now, he's, you know, under trial, but fucking Christ. Anyways, I think the thing that is more disturbing, in my opinion, is the fact that YouTube has known about this channel for the longest time, and they just never wanted to deal with it. And I know it's hard to assume that they know about this channel. There's billions of I know there's not actually billions, but by the way, there's construction outside, and that's not helping the fact that there's shit. God damn it. Anyways, I know YouTube has a busy life going on. You know, they got a million different channels to maintain and a ton of different bullshit to control. A ton of it. But I know that they know that this channel exists because they know that this scandalous shit has been happening for a long time in YouTube Kids app. Like, there are a ton of channels, just like the 7 Kids thing, that have been going on. And they're a very popular channel, you know? So it's not like they can be ignorant about it for that long. It's like being ignorant about PewDiePie. Or, okay, fine, someone smaller. I don't know, Philip DeFranco. I don't know, it's like being ignorant about them, even though clearly they're not a small-time shit. They obviously exist in this large trending thing that you're doing, the whole YouTube Kids thing. And a ton of different celebrities have made fun of this thing, or maybe not a ton, but Tosh.0 made fun of it. And if it's on national TV, I would assume someone at the YouTube office saw that shit. And I mentioned this in a past video, but I think it's kind of fucked up that YouTube has always had this grooming problem. And not necessarily in the pedophilic way, but in the way that they will groom a channel to be the best that it can be, even if it's fucked up. So, for example, the 7 Deadly Sin Children channels, right? It's clear that they knew they existed, otherwise they would have stopped the advertisements and all that stuff. And they didn't give a shit. You know why? Because they were bringing in money. And that's something that I feel like not a lot of people want to mention, but YouTube is a business. A fucked up business sometimes. They promote sociopaths, you know? They always get the weirdest motherfuckers to succeed. And that's because they're good at succeeding. They are the best at it because they don't give a shit about other people's feelings, you know? So when it comes to these channels, these pedophilic channels that I'm sure there are more of, I'm sure there are far more of, it's so strange that YouTube would want to favor these just because they're famous. And when they're outed out, YouTube is like, we apologize. This sort of abhorrent behavior is not of YouTube standards and policies. It's like, fuck off. You knew about this. There is no way you didn't know about this, YouTube. Maybe, okay, maybe you didn't know about the whole actual pedophile manager thing. Sure, right? I get that. But you knew that this shit is weird. Like, this shit is fucked up. Like, the things, like, I've never actually seen the videos, but some of the examples I've seen is, like, the girls get tied up. Like, I don't even want to say it, but they get tied up in a weird way that's reminiscent of, I don't know, it's weird to say, but bondage, you know? Like, it's gross, and I'm sure that I'm assuming there's probably some foot fetish shit involved, because there's always foot fetish shit involved with these kids app things. I don't know why. There's just, anytime you look up any sort of, like, Elsa playing with Spider-Man, it's always like Elsa stabs her fucking foot in a chipper. Like, her foot has been grinded up by a wood chipper. I don't know why it is. I don't know. But anyways, getting off topic here. It's shit. And they will continue to do this. There are tons of channels, I'm sure, that they know about, that we don't even know about, that they're continuing to support because it brings in money. And as long as that channel isn't obviously pedophilic, I don't know, as obvious as it gets, I guess, they will support it. And I know I'm making big allegations against a company that I don't work in, nor do I have any sort of association with, other than the fact that I do upload content on this channel, on this website. I just know in the bottom of my heart that they know about so much more, so much worse, and they don't bother to speak up. And let's face it, they will always prefer certain people over others. For example, Will Smith did this whole bungee jumping live stream thing. And of course YouTube wants to promote this because it's Will Smith, number one. And number two, it's promoting their YouTube Red thing. So, you know, YouTube Red is a subscription base where you get exclusive content that is pretty shit most of the time. Actually, I would say 100% of the time it's actually pretty shit, the YouTube Red content. But with this, they really wanted to promote, hey, it's Will Smith. It's our original YouTube Red series. Awesome, cool, right? Awesome. So they put that in the #1 trending. But at the same time, Shane Dawson came out with the whole Out of the Mind of Jake Paul series, his first episode ever, right? And even though that video was doing slightly better, in fact, I would say even more, like far better than the Will Smith video. It has more views, it had more likes, it had more engagement with the comments and such. I've never seen that video actually on the trending page. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just didn't catch it in the trending page, but the fact that that video, that Will Smith video was #1, and I understand it being #1. It's fine that it's #1. I understand that. I get if they have some biases for that, but the fact that they just subtracted that and they just killed off and they didn't even give Shane Dawson his chance to shine with the trending page next to Will Smith, that tells me that they've always been grooming a bunch of different channels and a ton of different things just for their own sake. And it sucks, but that's just the way that the YouTube algorithm works, man. Like, at this point, if you're not doing what YouTube wants you to do, and if you're not favorable to all audiences, at this point, you're nobody, and you will always be nobody. I mean, they have yet to acknowledge most of the bigger channels here on YouTube just because of the fact that those guys go out of the norm of their standards, I guess. And I guess that's just it. I don't know. I just wanted to rant about that, and that's just what Qs are. Qs are basically I answer your questions, and I also tell you a bunch of shit that I've been thinking about. And unscripted, it's all bullshit. I ain't got, and there's construction outside, and it sucks ass. But hey, it's Q. Let me answer some of y'all questions. Again, this is very unedited, so I'm sorry if it seems very cheap, but I had to come out with a video, so this is my video for you guys. I love you so much. I hope you guys really understand the situation that I'm in. But let's forget all that and get on to the Q. So let's see. First question. What would it be? First question is by Brurbs Cat over on the Discord. He asks, what do you believe... Oh my god, this construction. What do you believe to be the best environmental ambient sound design in gaming and why? Let's see, that's very specific. But I would have to say like any open world game, just ever. I can't really think of anything at the top of my head. But I know PUBG is actually not that bad when it comes to that sort of shit. And I know it's weird. Like that's something I just pulled out of my head, right? But PUBG is very dependent on sound. If you cannot hear the game, you will most likely fail at the game because you have to hear other people's footsteps. You have to hear what gun sounds are going off. You can tell what gun someone is using just by the sound of it. Like some people have gotten that good. Fucking Christ, that construction is driving me nuts. Oh my shit. Oh my god. Anyways, PUBG is like, they're very dependent on sound. And the fact, like, when you play that game and you actually hear people off in the distance, you can hear like gunfire and gunshots. It's like so ominous because I know for like people who are veterans at the game, people who are professionals at the game, it's nothing to them. It's just another element of the game. But when you're actually you start playing the game, when you're first starting off in the game, you think to yourself, my god, that is the scariest shit. I have to get out of here. Or if you're crazy, you're like, I have to go towards that sound. I want to fight. I want to do something, you know? So I always thought that those games, any battle royale game that take advantage of that shit. Fortnite, I guess. But I don't really pay attention to the sound as much in Fortnite than I do in PUBG. Just because in PUBG, you're more reliant on your guns and your weapons than in Fortnite. In Fortnite, you're more reliant on your building capabilities and your goofy ass fucking weapons such as the disco ball or whatever. You know, I feel like those levels, like the sound. I know people are gonna disagree, but the sound in Fortnite is less important as it is in PUBG, because again, it's a totally different mechanic, I feel. But yeah, PUBG, any open world game. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe Skyrim. I don't really remember too much about Skyrim. I'm playing Breath of the Wild, and I'm really loving that. You know, I'm loving the sound. Like, Breath of the Wild barely has any music, and I feel like a lot of people hated it for that. And I was very skeptical about that too, because I thought, oh man, you know, Breath of the Wild, when you think of Legend of Zelda, what do you think of? You think of the orchestral music, the legendary music that's playing whenever you fight someone, or when you're just crossing the Hyrule Plains, you know? So I was very skeptical, but when I started actually playing, it was like, it was fucking awesome, because it was just quiet, and then you would hear stuff in the distance and wind just passing you by, and it's just amazing. And then every now and again you hear like a little da-dun, da-dun, na-na-na-na, you know, on the piano, and it's lovely. It's very lovely. But yeah, I don't know. I guess my answer would be, for best environmental music, is like PUBG. So thanks for your question, as fucking specific as that was. Next question is by Coffee. You asked, is JoJo objectively overrated? As a JoJo fan myself, this is not the question, by the way. Thanks for the thanks for the cue. As a JoJo fan myself, I don't believe so. It's not overrated at all. In fact, I would say it's underrated. Even still, like, even nowadays, like, I understand JoJo has been memed up to hell, but I never felt like the show actually gained the recognition it should have. This manga series has been going on since, I would say, what, the 80s? Mid-80s, right? It started off with Phantom Blood, so... Yeah, no, Phantom Blood was different. Ah, fuck it, whatever. Anyways, it started off with the very first JoJo back in the mid-80s, and that was relatively obscure. And then in the 90s, it ramped up to a more, you know, it became way more mainstream because of Part 3. Part 3 was like, it still is pretty much the most famous fucking JoJo. And I would argue that Part 3 is the most overrated, because I always thought Part 3, while Stardust Crusaders is pretty amazing in itself, and it's fucking fantastic, trust me, it really is. I don't believe that when people watch Part 3, they really understand what JoJo is. I think if you want to understand what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure really is, you should start watching Part 4 instead, because that's when things actually get bizarre. That's when Araki stops saying, like, oh, I am gonna stop making stands based off of the most simplest shit, like, I can spew fire, I have a sword, I have fucking gooey, punchy powers, you know? I'm just gonna make a fucking stand where you control tiny little toy soldiers and they all shoot at you. I'm gonna make a stand where you can make sounds and the sound effects will continue to play. I'll make a fucking stand where anything can be a bomb, you know? So, I feel like Part 4 is more JoJo than Part 3 ever was. So, in some regards, Part 3 is more overrated, because that's just not JoJo. It just isn't. It is JoJo. Like, it's a great introduction to stands and stuff, but it's just not JoJo. It's just not. But overall, as a series as a whole, no, it's not overrated. It's still very much underrated in my eyes. You know, people will still talk about Naruto and One Piece more than they will JoJo or anything else. I would say, like, even like Boku no Hero is way more popular than JoJo right now, or I don't know, what's another thing that's out? Fucking Hunter x Hunter, is that still a show? Yeah, they're way more popular. It's because they don't, the thing about JoJo is that it doesn't follow the traditional shonen formula that we all know and love, with the whole, whoa, it's wacky, fucking, I'm a teenage boy with bright eyes, I'm gonna be the very best, believe it, I'm gonna be king of the guys, you know? Like, it doesn't follow that. It's just about some asshole trying to make it out while other stan users are trying to kill his ass. You know, that's usually what JoJo is. But yeah, I'm just going around in circles. No, it's not overrated, not at all. Nah. But thanks for your question. Next question is by Koopy. Again, these are all over at the Discord channel. I don't know if I mentioned that, but over at my Discord, I'm pretty much only going to take questions from the Discord chat from now on, because there are just so many questions, and it's just easier to navigate through all that shit for anybody who's curious. But Koopy, you asked, what are some cult classic movies that you think are overrated / underrated, and why? Also, what movies do you recommend in general? PS, love your content. Don't stop, please. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Overrated, I would say fucking, oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Right? But I fucking did not like Doctor Strangelove, man. I didn't. I just didn't. I don't get it. Listen, I'm gonna sound like your fucking typical average general movie audience, right? I just didn't like it, man. I really didn't like Doctor Strangelove. So Doctor Strangelove is essentially this comedy movie made by, fucking Christ, I forgot his name. The same guy who made, I'm not even gonna bother Googling his name, but he's an amazing director. Stanley Kubrick, that's his name, I remember. You see that? I remembered. But Stanley Kubrick wanted to make a comedy, even though, like, he's been well known for making not comedies. So he wanted to make a comedy film about, you know, communism and all that shit, and it was basically this film called Doctor Strangelove that was weirdly advertised nowadays. I don't know about back then, but like nowadays when you ask somebody what Doctor Strangelove is, they would say it's about a weird scientist and stuff. Doctor Strangelove himself doesn't come in until like the last 20 minutes of the movie, and it's weird. Because apparently his big joke is that he can stand up. Oh, sorry. Is that a fucking spoiler? Ah, fuck it. Who cares? But seriously, though, I thought the movie, yeah, it did have some good jokes. Without a doubt. Yeah, it really did. But I don't think it's, like, the best comedy ever. If anything, I'm still in love with it. It's a mad world. That is still my favorite comedy of all fucking time. I love that fucking film so much. But when it comes to, like, I don't know, Doctor Strangelove just didn't appeal to me. I didn't think it was the greatest comedy ever. I thought it was a contemporary comedy. I thought it was like okay, you know, like it's an average comedy, you know. Maybe the humor was too dry for me, or maybe I wasn't smart enough, but I feel like people who like Doctor Strangelove are usually the pretentious kind of people who are like, oh my god, Doctor Strangelove, the greatest comedy, sophisticated comedy ever. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't see any sophistication. I think I just see like a very boring, slow comedy. I don't even know if I want. Maybe I have to watch it. Maybe I have to watch it again to really understand. Maybe I need some context for the fucking movie to be funny. But why do I need context for a comedy? I think a comedy should be funny throughout all the ages. Again, it's a mad world, which is completely different from Doctor Strangelove. Doctor Strangelove trying to be an intellectual comedy, whereas it's a mad world is more like a fucking slapstick humor, dumb shit, I'm gonna throw a pie in your face kind of dumb shit thing, right? I understand that those are completely different genres of comedy, but I still think that it's stronger with it's a mad world. Like, I had to shorten that or somewhere. It's a mad world, right? I feel like it's stronger with it's a mad world because of the fact that it's universal comedy. Everybody's gonna laugh at a guy who slips on a banana peel. Not a lot of people are gonna laugh at the fact that this guy is making fun of the Communist Manifesto. You know, like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not into intellectual comedy. It's just how I feel. I just didn't like Doctor Strangelove. Somebody convince me. Somebody in the comments convince me that it's a great movie. Somebody tell me that, because I'm just not seeing it. I'm not getting something, but just tell me. All right. All right. But thank you so much for your question, Koopy. All right. Maybe I'll just take 2 more cues and we'll call it a day. How about that? Ooh, here's one for the October feels. It is from fucking, what's his name? God, that's a Japanese Chinese characters. His name is Karate. You asked personal thoughts on horror movies. I believe horror movies, in my opinion, have I think they've gotten a little stale. I mean, honestly, I think we all know this, but horror movies have not been doing so well lately, especially now with the movie The Nun coming out and that being a huge pile of trash. I feel like so many horror movies have misunderstood the concept of horror. Like, many mainstream horror movies are gonna convince you that this movie is scary because, boo, I'm spooky, I'm gonna come out of the closet and go boo, like a fucking haunted house ride. But it's not. And you know what, but I would understand you if you would think that those kinds of movies are scary, right? I understand if you have fun during a horror movie, you know, then I don't blame you. Like, I'm not gonna call you an idiot for liking a horror movie that is very, you know, traditional with its scares. Like, this person's gonna open the closet slowly, nothing, then they turn around, you know. Like, if you're having fun with the movie, I don't blame you for liking it. I'm not gonna say that you're dumb for liking it, but I feel like with traditional horror movies, you would want to try and get an actual eerie feeling out of it. And that's just something I feel like is generally missing with all horror movies. And not all horror movies, but rather modern horror movies. But I will say that I feel like there is a resurgence of good horror movies lately. You know, I really loved A Quiet Place. You know, that's still a traditional horror movie thing. It's got all the jump scares and all that stuff, but I feel like the premise itself was just good enough that I would get interested in it. I feel like if you have a strong enough premise and you have a strong enough cast, you could pretty much get far with your shit. So I really enjoyed A Quiet Place, even though that was, again, a very traditional modern movie, boo, spooky thing. But it's still, the concept was very nice, and I liked it a lot, and I liked the characters and all that dumb shit. And also there was another movie called Hereditary, which me and my girlfriend especially, we will not stop talking about Hereditary. It is the best fucking horror movie we've both seen in a long time, and I very much recommend you watching it. It's October, man. It's October. Y'all gotta start watching horror movies now. But yeah, I love it. I love it so much, man. It is the greatest thing I've seen in a long time. But yeah, if you're interested in that kind of shit, just go ahead and try and find some. But as of right now, I just feel like, while I am disappointed in the latest horror trends, I am at least getting some hope out of the fact that there are movies like Hereditary and A Quiet Place coming out that actually know what horror is. And I feel like you guys, you know, you should really try and check these out. You know, they're awesome. They're really awesome movies. But thank you so much for the question, Karate. All right, let's see. Actually, I think I'm gonna leave that off. Yeah, I'm gonna left that off. I'm gonna leave that off as the last question. Sorry guys, but I gotta start getting ready for work. It's been nice chatting with you guys. Again, I really miss you guys so much, but I gotta stop, you know, with the production of videos. They're getting a lot trickier to make. But tomorrow I have a day off, so hopefully, you know, maybe I can make some videos for Monday and Friday next week. But other than that, you know, keep tuned in. I'm still making videos. I'm gonna try and be as productive as possible, as much as I can be with videos. And hopefully you guys will like them a lot. I love you guys so very much. I miss you all so very much. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you all so very much for watching. Love you all. Goodbye.